This is Harold Vaughn. Somebody wisely said, you wouldn't worry about what other people think about you if you knew how seldom people actually think about you. The truth is, nobody's sitting around thinking about you all the time, and we need to get beyond this slavish bondage to the opinions of men. We need to get beyond this fear of man. One man said it's more important for you to feel comfortable in your own skin than to try to get other people comfortable with your skin. And boy, that's the truth. You've got to be what God called you to be, what God created you to be. You know, you were born an original, so don't die a copy. Now, insecure leaders demand compliance and conformity. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus talked about these people who elevated their traditions above the commandments of God. The Pharisees were all worried about the disciples not washing their hands, and they held all of these kinds of things. And Jesus called these people hypocrites because external conformity had displaced the commandments of God. Now, God wants you and wants me to live free from the fear of man, above the opinions of men. You know, there's really only one opinion that really counts in the final analysis, and that's what God thinks and what God knows about us. That's more important than what people think. You wouldn't be worried about what people are thinking about you if you knew how seldom they actually do think about you. And that's just the way it is. And sometimes in life, we got to get outside the box, but as long as we're inside the book, everything is going to be okay. And I want to say this, that God wants you to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. So sometimes you got to go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated. You know, you don't fit everywhere. Jesus didn't fit everywhere. And I finally figured out who I fit with. I fit with the hungry-hearted. I fit with the revival-hearted. I connect with the broken-hearted. That's my purpose. That's my call. That's my assignment. And you need to figure out what your assignment is and go for broke. And I want to say this. Just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong. As long as it doesn't conflict with the teachings and the principles and the moral law of God, I'm telling you, you need to fulfill the purpose, the mission, the assignment for which God has called you. But you'll never be able to do that if you're living in the fear of man and if you're a slave to the opinions of other people. Hey, you were created an original. Don't die a copy. Do what God called you to do. Be what God's called you to be. Go where God's called you to go. Find out where you have influence. Find out where you're effective. Find out what you're good at and go for it. Now, brothers and sisters, let's focus today on the opinion of God. And the Bible tells us that God's for us. He's not against us. If we're born again, we're saved by grace. We're kept by grace. We're justified by grace. We're sanctified by grace. I mean, we're called to live in grace. We're called to extend grace. We are called by God to walk with Him in the course of our daily lives. So don't be worried about what other people are thinking all the time. Just concentrate and focus on God's opinion of you and your assignment. Give it all of your heart and see what God can do through your life today and the rest of the days that God gives you. This is Harold Vaughn here with some encouragement to live above the opinions of other people.